So now we are starting the session. As AI continues to transform the way we work, the next frontier isn't just smarter application, it's user experiences that require little interaction. Autonomous agents are redefining how users engage with Salesforce, making the platform more proactive than ever before.
Yeah. Well, hasn't it happened with any one of you that you are actually very irritated by applications where you have to click a lot of buttons, a lot of navigation, a lot of it? Does it irritate you? Or maybe if any of your clients might have complained about it that there are a lot of clicks in the application or way too much of user interaction is there, something that could have been automated, something that did not require those many clicks, right? Maybe any one of you? Yeah. So how that can be worked upon and during this particular age of agentic AI. For that, please let me introduce you to Sachin Jange. He will walk us through this vision, right? So please give him a big round of applause and let's start. Thank you, Sachin.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And honestly, I know there are a lot of great talks happening at Bharat Dreamin right now. So the fact that you are here, it means a lot to me. So before I get into anything technical, let me tell you a story. And I want you guys to think whether you know someone like this person. So her name is Priya. Priya is a sales rep at a mid-sized SaaS company. She is good at her job, like genuinely good. She closes deals, she builds relationships, and she is the kind of person customers actually look forward to hearing from. But every single day, Priya spends about 3 hours in Salesforce, updating activity logs, creating follow-up tasks, moving opportunities through stages, filling in fields that she is not even sure that anyone reads. She was running reports that she exports to Excel and then manually changes the format because the Salesforce layout doesn't match what her manager wants. So 3 hours every day. Now what happened one day, her manager calls her into a meeting and says, Priya, your numbers are great, but the CRM data quality is terrible. And Priya just sighs because she knows the truth. She's been trying, she really has, but she also knows that she wasn't hired to update a CRM. She was hired to sell. Now, I would like you guys to raise your hand if you have a Priya in your organization. Only one? Okay. Almost everyone have Priya in their organization. And this is the dirty secret of almost every Salesforce implementation in the world. We build these powerful systems, we spend months on design, on configuration and on training, and then we turn around and ask our most valuable people to just become a data entry clerk. And here's what really gets me. We then measure CRM adoption as if it's a success metric. Our reps are logging in every day. Great. Are they selling or are they just clicking? So what if Salesforce could do all of that for Priya? Automatically, invisibly, and without her having to ask. And that's what we are here to talk about today. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Sachin Jangid, Salesforce developer at Synex IT Solution, and welcome to the Invisible Org. So let me just start by clearing something up, because zero click is kind of those phrases that can mean different to different people. Zero click does not mean people never touch Salesforce. This doesn't mean we are replacing humans. This is not the goal and this is not even desirable, right? So what it means is Salesforce does the routine, the repetitive and the predictable tasks, so the humans only touch the high value, the complex value and the things that actually require human judgment. Like creating a follow-up task after a discovery call, that can be automatic and that should be automatic. Like updating the opportunity stage after an email thread moves forward. What do you think, guys? It should be automatic or manual? Anyone? Automatic, right? And assigning a case to the right team based on the issue type. Correct. And what about sending a re-engagement message to a customer who has not responded in 30 days? Automatic as well. And what about filling in account health scores based on product usage data? And I think automatic as well. Okay. So I want to try something a little different right now. So stick with me. Imagine you have a colleague like we have at Cinex, Mr. Singh. So he never sleeps, he never gets bored, he never sighs when you ask him to log the same activity for the 47th time this day. Honestly, Mr. Singh represents everything we want our systems could be. Always on, always accurate, and always ready. Now here's the real question. How much of your daily Salesforce work could Mr. Singh handle if he just knew the rules? Let's do a quick mental exercise. Think of the last 5 things you did in Salesforce, or the last 5 things your users have grown about. Like, if the meeting happened and the contact responded, just create a follow-up task. That's a rule. Like, if the deal is over at a certain value and has not moved in 2 weeks, so flag it. And if a case comes in from a high priority customer, bump the priority and notify the account manager. So these all are just rules, and Mr. Singh could handle every single one of those right now and today only. So that's the whole philosophy of zero click. It's not magic, it's not scientific fiction, it's just engineering with a better question at the center of it, and not who does this task, but does a human actually need to do this task, or are we just involving them out of habit? Because habit is expensive and Mr. Singh doesn't charge overtime. Let me have some water, please. Now, the reason we are able to have this conversation in a new way today, the reason the invisible org is actually achievable and not just a concept is, any guesses? Anyone? Agentforce, correct. So Salesforce released Agentforce, and I know a lot of you have heard the marketing, AI agents that works for you, big claims, exciting videos, and so many stuff. But I want to cut through all of that and tell you what it actually looks like when you build with it. Agentforce agents are not just chatbots. I want to be really clear about that. They are not just answering your questions. And they are not even a fancier FAQ bot. They are autonomous processes. They can perceive inputs like an email, a case, or a data change. Then they can reason about their context, like what's the customer's history, what's the customer's value, what's happened in the last 30 days, and then they can decide on actions and actually executes them inside Salesforce or even outside it. So let me tell you about a project I have worked on. So it was a logistics company. They were dealing with a case management nightmare, around 400 cases coming in per day, 3 tiers of support, complex routing rules that their team updated almost every month because the business kept changing. And their support agents were spending around 10 to 15 minutes just figuring out what's going on and where the case is needed to go. We then built an Agentforce agent for them, and we called it internally the router. And I love this name. Every new case that came in, whether it was through email, WhatsApp, or the customer portal, the router read it, classified it, checked the customer's tier, their contract value, their open order status, and their previous case history, and then routed it to the right queue with the right priority level which was already set. But here's the part that really surprised the team. The router also drafted the first response. It did not send it, but it drafted it. The support agent opened a case that there was already a contextual and accurate reply waiting for review. So instead of opening a case cold and spending 15 minutes figuring out what's going on, the agent opened a case that was already categorized, already prioritized, and already had a first draft ready to go. Because of all these things, average handle time dropped by 40% in the first month. Not because they hired better agents, not because they changed their processes, but because they stopped asking humans to do the tasks that machines are actually better at. So now technically, how does this work? An Agentforce agent has three core components: topics, actions, and instructions. Topics, what domains or areas it is responsible for; actions, what it can actually do; and the instructions, the reasoning logic and the guardrails that defines how the agent will work. Now you define all of this in natural language. You are not writing any code to define the agent's brain. And then Salesforce Einstein AI does the heavy lifting of understanding and deciding. The real power is in the actions, because actions can call Apex classes, they can trigger flows, they can query data cloud, they can call external APIs, which means your agent isn't just limited inside Salesforce. It can talk to your ERP, your HR systems, your logistics platforms, your ticketing tools, and anything that has an API endpoint. So your invisible org is not just invisible inside Salesforce, it's invisible across your entire tech stack. Okay, so now that you want to bring something similar to Mr. Singh, but where do you actually start? Let me give you the framework I use with every client. Before that, let me have some water. And that's why we are building agents, so that we get some time to hydrate ourselves. And Mr. Singh allow us to do so. Okay, let's move on to framework. So step 1, audit for invisibility. In your next sprint planning session, go through your user stories one by one and just ask a simple question. Does a human need to make this decision, or does a human just need to execute a rule? There's a big difference. Like deciding whether to extend credit to a new customer, that needs a human. And sending a standard welcome email when a new contact is created, that's a rule. And anything that's rule based is your automation candidate. So start making the list. Now I always tell my clients, don't start with the exciting stuff. Like don't start with the AI powered lead scoring and the intelligent product recommendation engine. Start with the boring and the frequent, like task creation after meetings, stage updates based on email activities, notification routing, and etc. These seem small, but they happen dozens or hundreds of times a day. And automating them has immediate and visible ROI. And just as importantly, they are at low risk. So you build confidence with your users before you touch anything complex. Because if your first agent makes a mistake on a high stakes deal, you will spend 6 months to convince people to trust automation again. Now step 2, ground your agents in data. An agent is only as smart enough it has data access. This is the one I can't emphasize enough. Before you build agents, invest in getting your data right. Like if you are on data cloud, get your customers history unified and clean. Get your interaction data flowing in. Because an agent that hallucinates about the customer, that says that this is a high value account when actually the contract lapsed 6 months ago, is genuinely worse than no agent at all. It creates false confidence and real damage. So always data first and agent second. Now step 3. Your audit is done, your data is clean. Now it's actually time to build. So step 3 is automate. But here's the mistake I see teams makes constantly. They try to automate everything at once. They get excited, they scope a massive project, and 6 months later nothing is in the production because the complexity killed the momentum. So don't do that. Start with defining your priorities, then map your processes. Identify the one that is the most frequent, the most painful, and the most clearly rule-based thing on your audit list. Start from there. Build for that process, deploy it, and let your users actually feel the difference and get acquainted with the AI adoption, and then move to the next one. Mr. Singh didn't become Mr. Singh overnight. He started with one well-defined process, proved his value, and then we trusted him with more. And that's exactly how your AI automation journey should look. Because a process that's AI automated and live beats a perfectly designed roadmap that's still sitting in a PowerPoint. Now step 4. Design for the handoff and define the guardrails. This is the most underrated design decision in the whole process. The most important part of an autonomous agent isn't what it does when it succeeds. It's what happens when it can't decide. The handoff to the humans has to be seamless and it has to be informative. The agent should surface, here's everything I know about this situation, here's what I have already tried, and here's the specific thing I need from you. And when you do this well, something interesting happens. Humans actually love working with agents because when they step in, they are not starting from zero. They have all the context, the legwork is already done, they are just making the final call. And let me tell you, life at Cinex is so much better than previous because of Mr. Singh. So yeah, thanks buddy. So that's a complete different relationship between people and technology, and it's one worth designing carefully. So now I hope you still remember Priya. Let's go back to her. Months after we finished implementing the Invisible Org framework for her company, she got a new version of her Salesforce experience. Monday morning, she opens her laptop and her pipeline is already updated from Friday's email activity. The agent read the threads over the weekend. Her top deals have Einstein generated talking points for the week, like what's changed, what needs attention, and what's the customer's been doing on the project. Her urgent cases are already tagged and sitting in her queue. And her follow-up tasks are checked off from the last week automatically because the customers responded and the system recognized the loop was closed. Now she looks at her manager and says, "It feels like someone did my weekend homework for me." And this is the real fact. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the Invisible Org. Not less Salesforce, but more Salesforce, just without friction. A system that works for people, not the other way around. And I think that's what we all should be building, because our users, our Priyas, deserve better than 3 hours of data entry a day. So thank you everyone. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Let's keep the event on schedule, and if you have any queries and questions, feel free to catch me outside. Thank you everyone again. Thank you so much. We have a quiz for you guys. Here's the code.